welcome to Super Talk Show. It is so much of a great pleasure to have you with us.
Hi, Heidi. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. To start the interview, can you give us a short introduction about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Anika. I am 17 years old and I am from California. I am a graduating senior and incoming freshman at Dartmouth College. And in general, I'm really passionate about gender equity and educational equity and how the two intersect. And that's really been kind of the foundation for a lot of my passions and interests throughout high school and what I want to do in college and beyond.
Wow, that's really cool. Is gender equality something you are intending to major maybe in Dartmouth?
I'm intending to major in government, specifically international relations, but I know they have an incredible women and gender studies department, so that's something I definitely want to explore. Maybe in terms of policy or law or development, I have no idea. I'm just really excited to explore and see kind of where everything takes me.
That's really cool. Can I ask how your interest in international relationships started? Are you like an MUN kid or?
Yep, I am an MUN kid. So like I think it's a funny story, but everyone who knows me knows this story. But the only reason I joined MUN was because my friend kind of pressured me to join it because she had seen Model UN on Parks and Recreation, the TV show. And I was like, okay, I have no idea what's going on, but I'll join. And I think the moment I stepped into our school's club meeting, I absolutely fell in love. And that's been the activity that I've been the most consistent with and passionate about throughout all of high school. So I started out as a member, then I became a club historian, and then I was president of our club for the past 2 years. And yeah, I love Model UN, and I think that was definitely what showed me that I want to pursue international relations, because I never was really that interested in science or engineering. But when I was creating those policies and debating those global issues, I was like, this is what I want to do. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I also share a passion in Model United Nations. What kind of outside conferences have you been attending? I did some local MUNs here, and also I've been into like the Yale MUN, Yale Model Government Europe. Those were really cool experiences.
My school, we don't have that big of a MUN team. It's definitely growing, but I've went to a couple of local conferences. So UC Davis, UC Berkeley, Stanford, and a couple high school ones. And then I did stuff on the side as well. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with MUN Impact, but I did some mentoring with them. And then actually I was an ambassador for Yale Model United Nations for the past year. So
Wow.
I did external engagements, but then I went to a couple of local conferences. But yeah, it just makes me so happy to think about Model UN because I genuinely just love the club and at my school and the community it fosters between everyone. And I feel like it's so easy to connect with people because so many people do Model UN.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you talked about the ambassador thing, I was like, oh my God, I was going to apply for that for Yeoman this year. And I saw the application, but I was too late. So that really gave me some memories. Did you
should definitely apply this coming year then?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'll be on the lookout for that. For MUNs, what kind of awards have you been getting? Like best delegates or honorable mentions? Did you put all of those into your college application?
So what I did was, I did win a couple of outstandings and honorables and best in research, but so what I actually did was I didn't list them in my main awards, but I kind of put them in my additional information because I wanted to spotlight some other stuff for that. But I thought it would be sort of good context because you only have so many words to sort of describe your involvement in activities. So I thought it'd just be good context to show my involvement. And it was such a big part of my high school experience. So yeah, I did include them. And then I had a few awards, I guess.
Wow. Do you want to elaborate on the other awards? Because it sounds pretty amazing.
So at Berkeley, I've received an outstanding in a committee of like 160 plus people, which was probably
What?
my biggest one. And then I got to research in that as well with my partner. And then I've gotten best at a couple of local conferences. But this year, for personal reasons, I wasn't able to do that much model UNing. So, oh yeah, and then I have like a couple out, I have it outstanding at Davis, and then, yeah, but I'm like trying to think of everything off the top of my head. But I think my biggest sort of, I would call, I don't, they're not traditional awards, but I've been able to chair also some local regional conferences. And I think that's been my favorite part. Because you get so used to being part of the debate, getting to facilitate it is a completely different experience. And I find that personally a lot more rewarding. So while I don't want to do competitive Model UN in college, I definitely want to join the sort of conference chairing or secretariat.
Yeah, I think all the universities in general, they have really, really large MUN teams. They have state ones and then local ones. And I think there's like a lot of opportunities with USGs especially. But I can't believe how a committee would be like with 160 delegates. That's just crazy. Wow.
It was a virtual one too. So my Zoom screen was just filled and then there are just pages and pages of faces.
Wow. So what country were you for that?
I was Cyprus. So it's a pretty small island nation.
Yeah, I think all the country on the map will be in that meeting. Yeah. Can you hear me? Did I just? Oh, my connection is apparently unstable. That's what happened with Zoom.
Yeah, you kind of cut out for a second, but I think I heard what you said.
Okay, cool. Can I ask you a question about your high school experience in general? Was it like really busy? Oh, were you like an IB student or?
No, so I did AP.
Wow.
My school doesn't offer IB, so I'm not sure if you're familiar with what AP is. Are
Advanced
you?
placement. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just took a bunch of AP classes throughout high school, and I would say I didn't have like the most conventional high school experience. Obviously, like with COVID in the middle, and then I had a lot of health issues this like my senior year, so things are kind of uprooted from the sort of routine. But I started out very focused on academics, but then sort of as my sophomore year came around, that's when I started dipping my toe into more extracurricular activities again, related with nonprofits and related to gender equality and that sort of realm. So I definitely say it was very, very busy, but I'm really grateful for how I explored what I was passionate about because I cared about it instead of just saying, I want to do this for college applications. I think that was probably the high that made all of that busyness and work worth it because I genuinely cared and still do care about everything that I did and I want to continue with a lot of it. So yeah, it was definitely busy academically, extracurricularly, but it was worth it.
Wow. May I ask like what kind of awards besides MUN you were like getting? Because those opportunities has been really hard for international students to kind of like search for, explore, because there's so much limitations, especially for kids, for example, in third world countries or in a different country than their own culture where they're not really integrated to the local language and stuff. Yeah.
I really love the way that you kind of framed that question just to start out. But again, I also didn't have like the conventional awards. So there's like one thing my school does that's very specific to the United States, but it's called Girls State. So they basically nominate one girl from each state has their separate conference and they nominate one girl from each school to represent their school at the conference. And then it's basically like it's a mock government. So I was the speaker of the house for that. And so I listed that as a award. But again, I did a lot of work with nonprofits. So there's one called She's the First, which works with girls and community-based organizations all around the world to help support their education and leadership development and things like that. So I represented them at a couple of conference and speaking engagements, and I wrote a couple of articles for them and things like that. So I listed sort of that as one of my awards. And then I also did work with Plan International. So I went to their youth leadership conference, and then I did some advising for companies with them. So I listed those. And so they definitely weren't the conventional sort of things, but so that's like sort of my advice for international students. If you don't have those sort of traditional awards, I know here like a really big one is a Scholastic National Art and Writing Awards. So if you don't have access to something like that, really going into work with nonprofits or with organizations you care about, and if you showcase that passion, they generally are very excited to get a young person's perspective to represent them. And I think that is equally as valuable to highlight as an award if you want to sort of put that on your resume or college application. But again, like I said before, it's a lot of what comes through is your passion for what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I think there are just infinite ways to spotlight that.
Mm-hmm. That's a really great answer to that question, I think, and a great conclusion. What have you been doing during the summers, between your years throughout high school?
So, I mean, I'm trying to think back because it feels like it was a lifetime ago, even if just a couple years. But so I attended obviously the Girls' Day conference, and then I did a couple of leadership academies. So the first one I ever did was with Plan International USA. And then what else? I took classes at my community college, and I also ended up recently starting something kind of similar to what you're doing, but my own organization called Project Hearth. So we basically do interviews with girls from all around the world, and a lot of, again, sort of events related to the connection of storytelling and advocacy and gender equality and education. So last summer we published a magazine with some girls from India, and we often did, in my Spanish classes, we do like intercambios or exchanges between students in Peru and students in Folsom, where I'm from. So it was kind of all over the place, but yeah.
How did you expand your impact for your organization? Did you use social media to kind of advertise, or basically your marketing strategies, I guess?
So really started out without any strategy because it was just me from the beginning, and I was like, okay, I'm just doing this because I want to do it. And then basically what I did was, because I had some connections with other girls through the clubs that I was a part of and through, again, the organizations I was a part of. So I just started DMing everyone I could and being like, would you be kind of like how you reached out to me? Would you be interested in coming for an interview? Would you be interested in contributing your perspective? And from there, it slowly started to grow. And the whole thing started because I found the organization of girls from Peru, and I sent them a DM, and I was like, I love everything that you're doing, and I would love to work with you. So we had a call, and we really connected and gelled well. And so everything just started out with me personally reaching out to people who I thought were really cool and inspiring. And then we were able to get, there's our social media director. So we have a really small team of just 4 girls right now, but she's actually a student from Vietnam, and she's so talented with graphic design. So we've been on kind of a break recently, but she's also been helping a lot with using social media and then our website and all of that stuff.
Wow, that's really cool. It's about reaching out to inspiring individuals and organizations. I feel like it's a chain reaction where, you reach out to somebody really inspiring to you, and now I'm reaching out to you, DMing, and maybe someone will reach out to me about Super Talk Show one day. So I think it's a really inspiring process.
I'm sure someone's going to reach out to you. I just wanted to put that out there because I looked at your Instagram and everything after, and I would love to have an interview with you for Project Hearth. Genuinely, you're working with UNHCR, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
In a engagement group. Yeah.
yeah, it's all so incredible. Like, honestly, I would love to have you on Project Hearth.
Wow, I would be grateful to being there as well. Yeah. Oh, I do have one last question to end our interview on. I think it's a fun one. What was your reaction to like your acceptance to Dartmouth?
Oh my gosh. So Dartmouth, I would say, was like my dream school when I was applying. So I had other schools. I was like, these are my dream schools. That what I would tell other people, I would sort of think. But Dartmouth was like the one. And I remember it was like Ivy Day and I had to go to school and I couldn't focus at all. I was like the whole time, I was like, when is it going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? And as soon as I got on, I think Dartmouth was the first application that I opened. And I like ran down to my mom. I was like, I got in a Dartmouth. I got in a Dartmouth. And then I like called my grandma and my aunt and everybody and texted my friend. I was just, I can't even explain. I think I'm just genuinely so excited. And I was like, in the end, I was like debating between a few schools. But when I went to Dartmouth, I was like, no, this is exactly where I thought I was meant to be. And I know I'm meant to be. So, yeah.
Wow, that sounds really cool. Definitely, that sounds like a dream. Just opening up, your application and seeing congratulations. Yeah, that must be
Yeah.
really fun. Yes. Thank you so much, by the way, Anika, for this entire interview. It was really inspiring to hear about your stories and for you to share your Dartmouth reaction. That was really nice.
Well, like I said at the beginning, thank you so much for having me. It was lovely getting to talk to you and connect with you. And I'm excited to see this up and where Super Talk Show goes in the future.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.